Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 3326 and episode number 3220. So, first up, basically is Star Trek, and then it's on to Godzilla. For Star Trek, it's Star Trek Classics Volume 4, The Beginnings. Yeah, with this one, we're going back to the 1980s with this comic book. Yes, because this book collects the original volume for Star Trek Next Generation that was released in 1980s. Let's see. First printing. Excuse me. Let's see. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so this volume was published in 1988. Yeah, it was also reprinted in a trade paperback in the 1990s known as Star Trek Creation Beginnings, which this is a new printing of. The writers of this book are Mike Carlin and Pablo Marcos. Yep, it is. Roughly, yeah, it's 6 issues. I love the gorgeous covers they have here for this one. It's Bill Sienkiewicz. So, basically, according to what I've heard about this particular miniseries, now, yes, this book has been reviewed by Linkar. He reviewed issues 1 and 4. I think he reviewed 1, 4, I think 6, I think it was. Yes. So, I think it was one issue of this book that basically, according to the star date, was after the death of Tasha Yar, who's in this miniseries. So, yeah. We saw it with this shot with the Enterprise. Looked like some anomaly. And a gorgeous artwork here. And this is how basically everybody looks here under this artwork by Pablos Marcos. And of course everyone's like so relaxed. Yeah, it's like chillaxing. Comfortable, Mr. Riker. Yep. And then of course, yeah, we have this. And of course, we have to have a butt shot for Tasha Yar because Tasha Yar was lovely at the time. And then we have, Dr. Crush working the hallway. Yep. And like, do you have some shaking happening? Alright, yep. And of course, and of course, you have Riker, Troy, and Picard talking in his ready room. And of course they have where Troy is talking to Riker about the whole past thing. And then we're introduced to something that, Linkara basically is pointing out that these two are very annoying. The Bickleys. Yep, the Bickleys. 2 officers on the Enterprise that were exclusively created for this comic. A married couple who's known for bickering at each other. Heck, even Picard basically told at one point to basically just shut up and do your job. Yep. So then he has to walk the turbo lift. Think of it for a moment. Runs to Wesley, which for some reason the artwork doesn't pick him where he's towering over Wesley, so I think he's not much taller than him. It's almost like Wesley's tiny. Now, I have heard the criticism related to the character Wesley Crusher. The fact that he was annoying, and also now people have I've never heard people say anything bad about his actor, but weird, people love him. They hate the character. Do you also hate the character besides the fans? Gene Roddenberry's own son. Eugene Roddenberry. Yeah, he hated, like, he basically had a bad relationship with Will Wheaton. Because, here's the weird thing about the way that this was done back at this point from what I heard. Because Gene Roddenberry's son, the way he treated Will Wheaton, it's like he was replacing his actual son. Yes, this was a thing. So, talk to the hand. And then the away team comprised of Geordi, Tasha, Data, and Riker. And they beamed onto the surface. They see these strange anomalies. Also, for some weird reason, the artist drew the Enterprise D the way it's shot here. It reminds me of the shit that was originally supposed to be for Star Trek Phase 2 that was supposed to be released in the 70s. Also, you can tell it's Season 1 because Worf's collar is gold because in Season 2 became silver. Also, he has a radio uniform. And Geordi in this book is basically the navigator, not Team Regina. That happens next season. And then these weird robots attack them, and then of course these actually are the children of basically the planet. It's a weird, and this is really weird. So, what we think is the kids, well actually the adults are actually kids. And apparently people on this planet age backwards, like the Benjamin Button. You're like, what? Yeah, it's a really bizarre issue. And then we have Sprint to the Sky, where the Enterprise is attacked by this spirit thing. I think I'm going to be reviewing this comic too. Yes, because this comic, which has the characters are depicted in these weird outfits. Yes, that's the thing about the 80s with this show, is that anytime the characters are not wearing the uniforms, let's wear the most weirdest attires, because it's the future. Though Tasha looks like a dominatrix with her outfit, yes. You have Data basically wearing this weird outfit too. And the whole thing is, get this, it's a Christmas comic. Yes, and Kari reviewed this too, look it up. Star Trek Generation number 2. Because the aliens in this book are Grinches. Yes, freaking Grinches. It's so weird. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird. It's one of the most bizarre comics. And then for some weird reason we have Wesley Crusher chatting with Counselor Troy for a bit. Then we have the Grinch. Oh yeah, hide the mask thing. Oh yeah, here's the Grinches. Yep, it's the frickin' Grinches. And what is the spirit running on the Enterprise? Why, it's frickin' Santa Claus. No, I am not kidding about that. It is frickin' Santa Claus. It is by far one of the most weirdest things I've seen. Yep. And then the very next issue, Kill Factor. This is issue number 3 of the book. I think you read this one too, I remember that. Yeah, this is basically Q. And this is the issue where, this is where they mention, this is after Tasha's death. So you have Tasha being shut around, and it turns out Wesley's part of his team. And then, of course, basically Picard just, yeah. And of course, they flashbacks to that terrible place that they visited back in episode 80 of the show. And then we have this weird spaceship up here. Yeah. Oh, and don't worry, it becomes more weird. Yes, and then we have the away team, which is comprised of Riker, Tasha, and 2 random yellow shirts who are knocked out. And then, of course, everyone beams over. And then Q shows up. Yes, Q. Where in this comic book, he's wearing all the outfits he wore in the pilot episode. Yes, because Pablo Marcus thought this was his thing. Frequently changing outfits. He didn't do it in the first episode. As a matter of fact, some points, it wasn't like every time he's like, bam, he's wearing the first outfit he wore, where he's like a conquistador. And then, like, He's like this for 2 pages, and he becomes the future thing he does later on in the episode. Yep. And like, oh, it was like waving hands, like, oh, talks ahead. And there's one point the Picard mentioned, yeah, the way he always draw Picard, he got a fish this big. Yes. I still think the episode is funny. Yep. Oh, it's funny. And then we have, let's separate the saucer section and the star drive section. So, little fun fact about this thing. Did you know they actually did this in the show 3 times? And the reason why they can only do it 3 times, budget. And the last time they ever did it ever for the Enterprise D was actually Generations, which resulted in the star drive being destroyed and the star section crashing on Viridian 3. And this big hands thing, and then he's in it for quite a while, and then, he just switches that to a gold uniform. Yes, a gold uniform. I think it was like one panel of this where Picard declared a touchdown. Yes, I remember this was basically like a review of his where it's like, yeah, now it's Picard's turn to declare a touchdown. So, and then for some reason, you get this. You have Worf grabbing Q, something he never did in the show. And here's the thing. Nobody ever laid a finger on Q, despite how annoying the man is on the show. It's like none of the women slapped him for being a dick. Nothing. It is by far the weirdest thing, seeing Worf just grabbing Q by the shoulder. And I'm surprised the artist, the writer's like, how tight on him? He's like, I hit me, Cleon. And then for some reason, you have Q becoming Cleon and throwing Worf. Oh, by the way, they're on the battle bridge. Yes. Then we have Q's day. And then we have people wake up in sick bay and more weird stuff. It's a story arc to happen, of course, these issues. And then you have something that never, ever, ever happened in the show. Picard punching Q. Because, you want to know why this never happened in the show? Because Picard is a terrible brawler. He's a good sword fighter. Yes, he's a good commander. But when it comes to fighting, he's afraid to use a sword. As for fisticuffs, no. The common joke is as the breeze like, oh, not the face, not the face. Get this, on the show, in the entirety of the show, Picard only threw 1 punch. And he punched a Ferengi on the episode The Captain's Holiday. Yes, a man who's French is what I think he speaks with a British accent. Patrick Stewart, everybody. Yep. Yeah, of course you have Riker like quite you too, and of course like, yeah, and then we have Q just switching from Cleon outfit to a blue uniform for reasons. Yep, switching chairs. And then, like, a representation of the guy who tried to rape her because it was rape gangs to the planet. Yes, believe it or not, there was a gang of people on Tashiar's home world, which was a Federation colony that fell to ruin, and they had things called rape gangs. Yes, this was mentioned in the show, which means this is a gang who got off on raping women. And I'm like, if the planet government collapsed, why didn't the Federation government basically intervene to figure out what the heck is going on? Like, why is this like a lawless state? And here's the weird thing. Gene Roddenberry claimed, oh, the future is in paradise. Tell this frickin' planet, Gene Roddenberry. Like, that's what happened in episode 80. And then randomly Q switches back to yellow. And then actually he's like, lighter yellow, darker yellow, then light yellow, and then I'm like, wear red, dude. Because we read in the show that we have this weird merging, and then Q just... And then here's something else, basically, that's never happened in the show. Geordi smacking Q. Another character who never touched Q in the show. And then, like, yeah, and then we have Picard tackling him. Then Geordi's shot. Data getting angry, trying to beat the crap out of Q. And then, like, then he tries to strangle him. It's like, I could do it until make Geordi live again. They pull him off, and still he's trying to strangle him. Yep. Just, oh yeah, he's actually alive. And then you have this guy attacking Q for some reason. Something that Q... It's like, yeah, let's have a comic book where the cast beats up Q, something they never did in the show. And then everything is started back normal. Jory is alive. The thieves put in the brig. But for attention, and of course we have these security officers wear these goofy helmets. And of course they escape, and yeah. And there's like a little thing of like, oh, trying to blow up the ship. It stops, then Geordi's alive and well, thanks to Q, and they go off. And then they're contacted by an Andorian. Yep, an Andorian. And then, like, we lean to the last issue here, where just another way mission. I at least gotta admit, the artist draws Diana Troy to be basically basically the picture is very beautiful. I gotta admit, Paul Marcus does an excellent job drawing her. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, then for some random reason, basically, you have Data take off his shirt, off his the fact he's very muscular. Well, he is an android, but yeah. And then, so apparently, one of the species they basically have on this planet who run basically the. We have the black and white guy who appeared in that episode that was mentioned about war. Yeah, it's a very weird set of comic books when it comes to Star Trek. Oh yeah, very weird. But as no denying, it was pretty fun reviewing this thing. So next up, basically, by the way, let's see, something's due here. Oh, they added it. Okay. Yeah, I just got informed that the Spawn Companion Volume 7 basically has been added. Oh, that's really interesting to get. And also, Spawn Origins Volume 31. I'll probably get the compendium soon. But next up we have is Godzilla War for Humanity, which is done in sort of a... It's depicted sort of like a Godzilla comic book. It was published in Japan, but written by Americans. And it's mostly about these group of people, not just kids this time, where it feels like basically a little bit of the show era Godzilla, because we have all the classic monsters here. We have Godzilla himself, Mila, Hedron, all the cool monsters, all fighting each other over for humanity. The book is by Andrew McCallum. The book is excellent. And it's only 5 issues. Yep, only 5. Andrew Cullen basically does the writing here. Artwork is done by Jake Smith. And, well, book itself is really good. It's a lot of fun. It's basically like a good love letter to Showa era Godzilla. You might thinking that Jet Jaguar show the book? Yeah, he does. Yep, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up, Reborn's Venom Machine. Okay, next video. Bye.